Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Planet for Tech. I hope you all are doing great and learning lots by watching all the continuous episode of the series Python Beginner to Master. So guys, till now we have completed 22 episode of this series and today in the 23 episode I am going to describe you exception handling. So let's start it. So in the today's episode, we are going to understand what is error and exception in Python. So here we are going to understand the basic definition and what is the difference between errors and exceptions in Python. Then after we are going to discuss about how to handle the exceptions in Python. So we will see there are few keywords available in the Python. By using those keywords, we are going to handle the exception in Python. So those keywords are nothing but here I am mentioning those keywords one by one. So there is try keyword, try and except, and we have to use else, and there is a one finally block. So with the help of these four keywords, we are going to handle the exception in Python. So the next point we will discuss about predefined type of exceptions in Python, like how many type of exceptions which are already defined in the Python. So those we are going to have a short overview just to have the awareness about these are the different type of exceptions available in the Python. And after that we are going to see like how to raise the custom exceptions. So how we can raise the custom exception if something is required there. So let's see all one by one. So the first we are going to discuss what is error and exception. So in a behavior, whatever we are getting like a syntax error or something else which is whatever we obstacle we are getting in a program before running the program. If we are getting it before running the program, so that is the error. So it is called as compile time error. So compile time error. So it includes basically syntax error and other errors as well. And if this error comes on runtime, so then it is called as the exceptions. So exceptions are nothing but you can say it is a error which comes on a runtime. So runtime errors are called as exception here. So this is a very short definition just to understand the concept behind this and what the background is. So errors are what which comes on a compile time and exceptions are what which comes on the runtime. So these two things are there. Now let's see how we can handle this. So to handle this, try, except, and else block are there. With the help of this block, we can handle this exception in the Python. So let me show you this one by one here. So when to use try block, when to use except block, when to use else block, and when to use finally blocks. So this we are going to understand one by one. So see, try block means whatever business logic, whatever code we want to be executed, that part we will keep inside the try block. So what we have to keep executable code needed for program. Whatever code we want to be executed in that program, that part of code we will keep in the try block. So this is the try block. And except, so this except is a short form of exception actually. So in this what we do, we just define some messages, define some messages to show when any exception occurs on the try block. If there is any exception that occurs in the try block, so if we are not having this exception part, so what it will do, it will just hang the complete execution and it will not move ahead. So it is recommended to handle that exception. So to handle it, we have to give the proper message or some handling mechanism in the except block. So this except block here we are going to pass some messages to handle the exception. And handle means you don't need to think like this handle means we are going to fix the error. Handle means for temporary time period we are just passing that particular exception and moving Python interpreter to go ahead. It is not like to fix the issue. It is like we are not blocking the program and we are moving it ahead. Now in the else block, so what we have to mention in the else block, let's suppose you have written some code in the try block and those are get calculated or get executed properly, and there are some response, there are some results outcomes of this try block. So that outcomes you can print, you can access, or you can display in the else block. So else block will get executed after the uh, try block is successfully executed. If there is some exception, so that time this else block is not going to be executed. So you can consider this like a if else. So in the place of if, we are having the except here. So if this exception is not there, so definitely it will come to the else block. And the finally block, we use finally block means doesn't matter the try, except or else are getting executed or not, but finally will get executed every time. So let me make a note here. It will get executed every time, no matter try and except are getting executed or not. So this is the definition actually. Let me make the highlight here. So this finally basically is different. This else is different, and this is also different, and this is also the try block here. So this else block, if there is no exception, then only it get it executed, it gets executed. So this is all about this theoretical part. Now let me show you in a practical way. So here I am going to create one program like try block. Before using the try, let me show you why we have to handle the exception. Let's suppose I have one number like a equals to 12, and here I am going to divide it, and I want to get the result a. I'm going to divide it by 0, let's suppose for now, and here I am going to print the output result. This is my first calculation, so result of division is here. We want this result to be executed like this, and after this again we are going to have the another result. This is the R1, you can say, and let's suppose I am going to have another operation after this. So there I am going to have multiplication of 0 like this, or I can say we have the b equals to 0 like that, and instead of this we can pass b here, and here we can pass b as well. So in the first operation you can see we are going to expect the division of a by b, and in the second output we are expecting the multiplication of a and b here, result of multiplication. So guys, here you can see we have two output statement here. Let's see the how it works first. Py demo, you can say here, so it is giving you one exception, zero division error. Can you see here, zero division error? So this is showing at line number 4. So in the line number 4, zero division error, division by 0. Definitely it's an, in the line number 4 you can see the value of a is 12 and the b is 0. So zero division error. So when we are dividing something by 0, so it becomes what? Infinite. Infinite means the definition is not available. So that is why it is giving that error. But you have noticed one thing here. So once this error comes at line number 4, then after it ignores all the lines after the 4, because it is not able to go ahead, because here the interpreter of Python get stopped here. You can see here. Let me show you. So here you can see in the line number 4, in the line number 4 it is executed, but after that it has just shown one exception and it is not moving ahead. So this is the issue. This is the issue what we have to handle. Here you can see this problem, this interpreter is stuck here and it is not able to move ahead. So this is because the exception comes here. So we have to handle this exception. To handle this exception, what we are expecting, once there is any exception here, so that exception we have to show, that is always preferable. But we have to execute the later statement like this. If the exception is coming in this line, then these statements should be executed. So that exception we have to handle here. So for that, what we need to have, we need to use try and catch block. Sorry, not catch, try and accept. So this way we can have the try and accept block. You can see. So in the tries block, I'm going to put all these needed things. This is what. And in the accept block, we can print error. Print whatever exception we got, we can print it here. Division, or you can say exception occurs. So exception throwing, like that. Now let's see. So this time you can see here the code is not blocked and it is executed properly. But the for this first operation, it is showing like exception throwing, means it comes uh, to the exception block because the try block is not executed successfully. That is why it is showing the exception block. And after that, it moves to the next line of execution. So in the next line of execution, it is giving the result as result of multiplication is 0. Obviously, here we are just multiplying the two values, 2 into 0. So definitely it will become what? 0. So here you can see we have handled this exception properly here. So this is what about the try and accept. Now let me show you the how in what situation we can use the else block. So here you can see if if we are changing the value of b we are making it 4, and we are going to have, let me remove this, this is not yet needed because, so here you can see uh, we are just using the try and accept, and if all is okay, it means this calculation happens properly. So definitely it will not come to the accept block. So we can expect the result here in the else block. Else block will get executed if exception, there is no exception, because this exception, this except, we are considering it as a if block. So if there is no exception, it will come to the else part. So here we can print the output which is calculated in the try block. You can see here in the try block we have calculated this output, and we are going to use this output in the else block. So this way guys, you have to use the else block. So basically else block in the exception handling uh, is used to show the data or to consume the output which was getting calculated in the try block. Now let me show you this is working or not. So here in the right side, let me make it maximize. Now we can see, yes, it is working. So the result of division is 3.0. It is showing there like that. And in the same way, we can have the finally block. So I have already shown like the finally block never take care about the try and except it get executed every time. So let me show you, doesn't matter the exception is coming or not, it will get executed every time. So let me have the one message here. So let me have the message calculation done or finished. So you can see doesn't matter the exception is coming or not. Let me show you here. If there is an exception, so exception will come when we will have the 0 here. So let me show you. You can see here exception is showing there, exception throwing, but calculation is finished because this is what I have shown you. Like doesn't matter try or accept or else block is working or not, but the finally will get executed every time. So this time you can see we are facing the exception here, but after this is also getting executed. So this is what the finally block is. Finally block will get executed every time, doesn't matter the try, except and else are working or not. Now let me show you other points here. So this way we have understood these are the different part of exception handling: try, except and else, and finally. Now come to the next point, predefined type of exception in the Python. So what are those predefined type of exceptions which is available in Python that we are going to have a overlook only because it is just for the awareness, like how many types of errors are there. Let me show you the list here. So guys, you can see here, so these are the different type of the Python predefined list, exception list. So you can see here, it is a list of, we can see 28 type of exceptions are there predefined in the Python. So let me show you one by one, just to have the awareness. We are not going to check by practically. It is just for awareness. So the first one is the exception. So this is the default one. It is used when we are not sure like what kind of exception is coming. So this is mostly used because we are not sure like what errors will come after executing the particular statement. So it is for all the exceptions by Python have a base class. So you can say whatever exceptions we are going to use here. So for those it is the base class, or you can say the parent class. So this exception is able to handle all kind of exception. Now there's another stop iteration. So this one we have already seen in a previous uh, episode. There I was showing you the iterator. So there we have raised the one uh, exception there. So it is used just to stop the next method. Now next here there is a system exit, standard errors. So otherwise there are other arithmetic errors and overflow errors, floating point error, zero division error. So this is what we have just get right now. If we are dividing some number by zero, so that time this kind of error comes. And there is a assertion error, attribute error, and end of file error. You can see, so if there is no string available in the content in the text, so and we are trying to read that file, so that will show the end of file error here. And there is an import error and keyboard interrupt error, the lookup error, index error, key errors, so name error, and the you can see unbound local error, environment error, input output error, and syntax error. And another is the indentation error, system exit, type error, value error, and runtime error, and the not implemented error. So these errors comes, and we are going to see these errors one by one whenever the context will come. So this is basically we are going to understand when we will deal with the abstract function. So there we are going to have this exception in a detail. But for now, just to have the awareness, like these are the different type of exception in the Python. Now come to the point how to raise the custom exceptions. How we can raise the custom exceptions. To raise the custom exception, you just need to use this particular line. We need to write a raise keyword. This raise keyword, with the help of this raise keyword, we can throw the custom exception, and after that we have to give the name of the exception, type of the exception, what we want to give. If you are not sure like what exception we have to give, so we can use the default one, that is the parent class of every exception class. So we can give exception, and after that we can give the message, whatever message we want, like custom message. So this way we can pass whatever custom message we have. So let me show you one example. There we are going to raise this exception, custom exception. So guys, here you can see I have just created one class to show you the custom error, how we can create the custom error, custom exception, not the error. So let me have the class, let me make it like invalid age. We can rename the class whatever we want. So we have created one class that is the invalid age. So as we all know, like all the exceptions inheriting the its parent, so that parent is what, base class is what, exception. So we have here inherited it. So I have already shown you how we can use the inheritance here. So this is the constructor, and here we are passing the message, and that message is getting assigned to the message variable. So this custom exception we have defined. Now in the try block I am going to have one input a, and in that I'm expecting the age, person of age, and if the age is negative, so we have to raise this particular error invalid. We have to raise this exception, invalid age exception. Now what will happen, so when this error will come, so this will uh, this exception will come. When this exception will come, so this will come to this particular accept block, and this accept block will catch that error, and after catching it, it is going to create one instance of this exception, that is the ex. So here with the help of this ex we can get the message block here. So let me show you what message this is having there. So you can see here it is asking for the age. I'm going to give the uh, negative age. So it is saying invalid age value. This is because we have the condition if the age is less than 0, so we have to raise this exception. So this way guys, you can create your own exception class, and you can handle the exception by your own logic. So in this episode this much guys, and in the next episode we are going to understand about the next topic of Python, that is something you can say the connectivity of Python with the database. So that we are going to understand in the next episode, episode number 24. So for this episode this much only. Thank you guys, thank you so much for watching.